I promise you, friend, when you start to become grounded and committed to the process of improving your mental fitness, you will start to see yourself as that person who can achieve anything. Hey friends, welcome. My name is Kim and I have to share a really funny story with you. So this is my second podcast in the series. And when I started literally a minute ago, I was stressed and overwhelmed thinking, what am I going to name this podcast? Because I just kind of like jumped in. I tend to jump and then think. So if you're like me, let me know. And I promise I have a formula to help you work through that. Not that we're going to stop being jumpers, but we're going to be okay with the jump and figuring it out. So this is our work in progress podcast because we're constantly a work in progress. And I welcome you to the table to share all of your stories, all of your experiences, what worked, what hasn't. So in my first episode, I got some really helpful positive feedback that I introduced a concept that might scare and overwhelm people around meditation. And I just want to take a moment and explore that. Because when I first learned about meditation, I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. This sounds like a prison sentence. To be able to sit quietly, first of all, for somebody who's a self-proclaimed busybody, sounds terrible. And then I'm going to sit with my thoughts or try to sit without having any thoughts. Impossible, not going to happen. Fast forward 5 years later, after I went to my first silent retreat, which there's got to be a meme out there over the experience of a silent retreat because it was an 8-hour experience for me. And the first 15 minutes, I wanted to talk or I wanted to hug somebody because it just felt very isolating. But I needed to just be silent. And while I could move my body, it was about me, my experience, and just being able to sit. And after the first hour, I thought, this is how I die. I am going to spontaneously combust without talking. At the end of 8 hours, I didn't want to leave. I learned to sit and to be still. But that's not what meditation is about. So when I first learned meditation, I learned that it can take on a whole new life form. It doesn't have to be sitting in stillness, sitting in silence. But the power of meditation, of learning to slow down, to ground ourselves, to be present in the moment. For me, that's what meditation is. It's slowing down. We're in a society that we are constantly inundated with information, that we propagate this idea of doing over being. Meditation helps us to slow down and to just be. To be okay being a work in progress, to be okay sitting in the silence, sitting in the stillness, to be okay recognizing that self-care is not just selfless, but it is the most important form of care that we can do, not just for ourselves, but for others. There's so much information that I want to share with you. You can see it's just bubbling out of me, and I'm going to share these concepts, and I promise I will come back and break them down more. But based on feedback, we're going to dive into meditation. I don't want you to be scared of what meditation is or what meditation can be. I want you to just enter into it with an open mind and an open heart and just enjoy the journey and be okay with being a work in progress. So we're going to go through a couple different meditations in this episode. Again, reminding yourself that this is just an important tool to help you slow down, to be grounded in the present moment, to reframe, to re-regulate, to help rewire our brains. Because mental fitness is about rewiring our brain and helping to improve our positive over negative thinking moments. So, meditation. I could not do a 2-minute meditation when I first started this. So 30 seconds seemed really stretchy for me and really uncomfortable for me. So in this episode, we're going to do a couple of different meditations. So we're going to start with our 30-second eyes open meditation. And I promise it's not going to be 30 seconds, but it'll be somewhere around 30 seconds. So we're not going to judge it. We're just going to allow it to be. So friend, I want you with me with your eyes open to settle into a relaxed, natural breath. To relax the muscles in your face, unfurrow your eyebrows, unclench your jaw, drop your tongue from your roof of your mouth and breathe. Relax your shoulders, let them hang gently at your side. Drop your hands to your side or in your lap. Unclench your fist and just breathe. Relax the muscles and tension in your chest and in your abdomen. And be fully aware of bringing the breath here and releasing it with you. And just breathe. I don't even think that was close to 30 seconds. But I want you to take pause and take an inventory of where you're at in this moment. By just slowing down and breathing, what do you gain from doing that? And it didn't take very long. So why are you not doing this? So I'm going to challenge you. I like to pose a challenge each time to find ways to incorporate this 30-second meditation into your day multiple times a day. As I shared in my first episode, mental fitness is about consistent, intentional, daily efforts. Meditation is one of those practices that I believe so firmly in that it needs to be a consistent, intentional, daily activity for you. When I first started, I set a timer every hour during the day. So from 6 in the morning until 9 at night, every hour I had a timer going off that reminded me to just breathe. And if you don't want to call it a meditation, that's okay. Call it just breathe or breath or whatever works for you. Don't judge it. Just find a way to practice it. And it was not perfect. If I got 8 of those timers that I didn't just hit snooze on or delete on, it was a win. If I get just 1 in, it's a win. Start becoming aware of your breath. Because I promise when you do, you'll notice your shoulders are up by your ears. You're having a hard time taking a full breath. But when you allow yourself to just stop and breathe during your day, any time of your day, it's going to help you to improve your mental fitness, which is going to make you more satisfied in life, able to have healthier, happier relationships, more productive, achieve your goals faster, and higher goals than you ever would have imagined or set for yourself before. Practice, start small, start with 1 30-second meditation a day and build up from there. The next meditation that I want to take you through is going to experience our 5 senses. You can do this one eyes open or eyes closed. I'm going to be eyes open. So I want you to again settle into a relaxed, natural breath. Again, I'll notice that meditation isn't about following a certain cadence of breathing always. There are spaces and places where being intentional with your breath cycle are super helpful and impactful. These are not. These are just settling in. You do you. Just breathe. We're going to start with our visual sense. I want you to focus on something in front of you or something in your mind's eyes if your eyes are closed. And I want you to be very curious and very observant of what it is. Notice the shape, the colors, if it's casting a shadow. Don't judge it, just observe it. Is there a texture? Is there a glare? What is it that you can observe? Maybe there's depth in the colors that you didn't notice before. And if your eyes are closed and you're holding an image in your mind, again, not judging it, just observing it, become a keen observer. And now I want you to come to your sense of touch. You can grab clothing, maybe the fabric of the chair you're on, or even your fingertips. Just start rubbing them together and start noticing, if you're like me and doing your fingertips, notice your fingerprint and any ridges that you might notice, any calluses, any rough spots or soft spots. Not judging it, just observing it, being very curious, very aware. We're drawing all of our attention to this sense of touch. Maybe you're feeling your fabric, or maybe it's something not as welcoming. Maybe it's a hard surface. Notice the temperature of it, the texture of it. Now I want you to focus on your sense of hearing. Become aware of the farthest away sound that you possibly can. Again, not judging it. When you pick up on a sound, can you push your sense a little bit further past that? Maybe there's somebody in another room, a car on the street, a dog barking. And now draw your sense of hearing to the closest thing you can hear. Maybe it's your breath, or maybe you're in a room of other people and you can hear their breath. What is the closest sound you can hear? Maybe it's the hum of a light, a fan, a computer. Don't judge it, just observe it. Now I want you to focus on your sense of smell. Maybe there's coffee or food nearby, or flowers, or maybe there's just the smell of the room, the building you're in, or maybe it's your breath. Try to pick up on something with your sense of smell. And now I want you to focus on your sense of taste. Maybe you had something strong earlier in the day and you can pick up on it on your mouth. Maybe you've had gum or mint or something. Or maybe there's nothing. And what does nothing taste like and feel like? Don't judge it, just observe it. And when you're ready, we're going to bring all of our senses back to this moment. Wiggle your fingers and toes and come back to me. I'd be very curious what your experience was with that one. During the day, you can break down any one of those senses. It's about being intentional. And when we focus on a sense, it helps calm us down and helps us to focus and be intentional. It does not have to be long or drawn out. Do not judge it. Just let it be. Experience the experience. Experience the sense. Okay, so we've gone through a couple of different meditations. I know a lot of my clients, friends, and family really have a hard time at night slowing their brains down. This was my time where my brain lit up. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, time for bed, and boom, all of the thoughts of the day came rushing back to me, and I couldn't turn it off. Meditation has been one of my superpowers to be able to slow my mind down, put those thoughts away, and go ahead and start winding down for the night. So we're going to do a wind down meditation. I want you to get into a comfortable position. And if you're using this to go to sleep, I want you to please lay down in bed. Go ahead and close your eyes and settle into a relaxed, natural breath. And I want you to visualize the breath entering your body and filling you up like a balloon. And just sit here for a few breaths, visualizing that. Inhale, noticing your body filling up with air like a balloon, and exhaling, settling back in. And we're going to start with sending this breath to the tips of our toes. So as you inhale, visualize that breath traveling all through your body, all the way to the tips of your toes. And as you exhale, visualize squeezing every drop of breath from your body, starting with your toes. And inhale, send this breath to the soles of your feet, your heels, and your ankles. As you exhale, visualize it leaving your body. You can see it as squeezing your body like a tube of toothpaste to get every drop of air out. Inhale, send the breath to your calves and shins. Again, picturing your body like a balloon. And exhale as it deflates. Inhale, send the breath to your hips, thighs, tops of your legs, and knees. Exhale as it exits your body, squeezing every drop from the bottom of your lungs out. Inhale, bringing the breath into your abdomen and into your chest. Notice the rise and fall here, releasing tension with it, allowing your lungs to fully expand, and allowing the breath to fully escape. Inhale, filling your fingertips, your hands, and your wrist. Exhale as the breath releases from your body. Inhale, filling your arms, every part of it. Exhale, allowing your body to feel fully supported by the weight, the surface beneath you. Inhale, filling your shoulders and neck. Exhale, relaxing deeper into the surface beneath you. Inhale, picturing your head filling up like a big balloon. Exhaling, releasing all tension with it. Stay with your breath as long as you need to. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes and bring your awareness back to this space. There are so many ways that learning to slow my mind down, helping clients slow their mind down, have helped to achieve greater life satisfaction, to really start living and loving your best life. Meditation is not a practice that's going to be for everybody, but learning to breathe is certainly one that everybody can benefit from. And when we start to practice this, we can see it in others and help others to slow down. Whether you're a team leader, a supervisor, a parent, a captain, a coach, imagine if you could see it in others. How many times we're walking around our day-to-day and our shoulders are in our ears and we're just carrying all of the burdens of the day. If we just breathed and set it aside. It is one of my parenting superpowers to be able to see it in my kiddos. I have 2 gentlemen in training, an 8-year-old and a 16-year-old, very different life phases. And by helping them to slow down and regain control of their emotions. We call it our reset. It's a great tool to help us reset, to just breathe. We'll have a whole segment on using these principles to help ourselves help others. I just want to start to share the concepts and to have you start experimenting, but seeing other ways that you can use this in your life. I want you to not judge, but I want you to be curious in how can I apply these tips and tools to different areas of my life. Because also when we start to teach these concepts to others and start to teach these tools, it helps us to become better at practicing them ourselves. So I want you to slow down and to breathe and to remember that focusing on our breath, regulating our emotions, is one of our super tools. Okay, so meditation is one of my superpower tools that I really want you to spend some time experimenting with and exploring. And I will continue to build a library of meditations and meditative experiences and breath work to help you on your mental fitness journey. But the importance of why I'm going to encourage and challenge you to make this part of your mental fitness toolkit is we're constantly inundated with information. We're constantly inundated with choices. Our minds are constantly activated and moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. And unfortunately, in today's society, our thoughts are framed by all of this information and all of these inputs. We see it in our youth. We don't always see it in ourselves. This perfect, polished Instagram life that we're all so familiar with. How many times are you practicing the pause and checking in with yourself that, am I trying to live this perfect, polished Instagram life? What am I trying to accomplish? Am I living my life to its fullest potential? Am I living with confidence, with clarity, with peace, with ease? Or am I constantly in this battle with my mind that I need to be doing more, that I need to be achieving more, or that once I achieve something or attain something, then I'll be happy? We're in this achievement culture, this achievement society. But I want you to take a moment and think about a goal that you set for yourself. Maybe it was a weight loss goal. Maybe it was a career-oriented goal, something achievement focused. Think about that goal and think about when you achieved that goal. And we're going to focus on something that we've actually done and accomplished. I have a client who is very academic focused and went all the way through to attaining a PhD, climbed the highest mountain academically, got to the top of the mountain and felt less than, right? This letdown that once I achieve this certain level of educational excellence, then I will have arrived. My friend, that is not what this is about, right? We're left feeling less than oftentimes when we're focused on achievement. So I'm going to challenge you to let go, and I'm not saying to not have goals. It is extraordinarily important to have goals, but to allow yourself some space and grace on your journey to goal achievement so that you're not missing the experience. You're not missing out on really what life has to offer. You're slowing down. You're savoring, you're prioritizing. When we focus on our mental fitness, we live more fully, more authentically. We step into our highest self. So continuing on this thought of this achievement culture, this achievement society, this mindset, and maybe you're not always achieving, maybe you're feeling less than. Right? When we look at social media, when we look at the world around you, maybe you're stuck in this cycle of, I'm not going to be enough. I'm not going to have enough. I'm never going to change. I'm always going to be stuck. I'm always going to struggle financially. I'm always going to be unhealthy, unfit, whatever it is. We get stuck in these constant cycles, and it's created by our environment, by our society, by our life's experiences. If you've been through traumatic life experiences, as I promise we all have gone through something, it frames, and not always a healthy way, the way we approach the world. Maybe you've gone through divorce and you think, I'm never going to be in a healthy, happy relationship. Maybe you've gone through a job loss and it's impacted your confidence, your sense of self-worth, your ability. I promise you, friend, when you start to become grounded and committed to the process of improving your mental fitness, you will start to see yourself as that person who can achieve anything. And I know this because I've done the things. I've committed to a healthy lifestyle. I've changed my body. I've changed my habits. I've changed my thinking. I've gone through career transitions. I've helped clients through career transitions. I've helped clients through significant loss. And to be able to get through the other side and not just survive, but to thrive. Mental fitness is learning to thrive, to not just survive. So let's continue on this journey and continue learning skills and tools that can help us to live and love our best life. I have a client, and for the sake of this, we're going to call him Joe. And when Joe first started working with me, we were focused on relationships. So Joe had recently gone through a divorce and was really struggling with his part and his contribution with the divorce. And how is he ever going to find somebody to love him? And in our work together, we realized how Joe's insecurities and high sense of accountability and responsibility were negatively impacting other areas of his life. Joe is also an entrepreneur and a business owner. His business was struggling greatly. He was losing money and he was losing team members. He had lost his focus. He had lost his center. He had gone through a traumatic life experience and felt that that was the end of the road, that he was never going to experience success or satisfaction in life again. And instead of going after fixing the problems, instead of going after and diving in and fixing the business fundamentals, we started with focusing on Joe's mental fitness. And fast forward 9 months later, Joe's business went from struggling, looking at closing operations, to a very viable, successful, financially healthy business. And Joe is in a place that he knows when he's ready, he can seek out a healthy, happy relationship. But he's also at a place where he's happy with himself and he's enjoying life and he's exploring and experimenting and trying new things. His health is on track, but we had to be intentional about the things that we were going to do as he went on his mental fitness journey. It's not about achievement. It's not always about setting goals. It's about getting our minds straight so that we can achieve our goals. If we don't have our thinking straight, it's going to be really hard. We're going to constantly work against ourselves. We've got to slow down. And I'm going to come back to some of the tools that I've already shared before, is ways that we can start to build our mental fitness, is learning to give and receive heartfelt compliments. And if you missed that, I'm going to encourage you to go back to the very first segment and take notes on how to give and receive heartfelt compliments, and practicing positive affirmation statements, and building this body of proof that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are enough, and that you are amazing, so that you can start to reach your max potential and set higher goals and greater goals, but to live life with peace and with ease, to silence the noise, to not live in this space of constant comparison and constant criticism, because I promise you're your own worst critic. We've got to slow our minds down and we've got to become aware of our thoughts. And then we're going to start to learn to challenge those thoughts. And are these helpful or are these hurtful? But first, we've got to slow down, to breathe, to silence it, or to become aware of it. Sometimes it's not about silencing. Sometimes it's about being dialed in and acutely aware of what we're thinking. So in our next episode, we're going to start talking about thinking about what you're thinking about and doing that thought audit and that thought inventory and really diving into what are those thoughts, because our lives are moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. Thoughts become words become actions, and actions are our destiny. So where you're at today is a direct result of your thoughts in the past. So we're going to start mining down into what are some of those thoughts that have gotten us to where we're at today. And there's not always the downside, right? Maybe you're at a good place and you want more of it. So how can we get to a next level? Or you're struggling with a certain area. So how can we stop the struggle, stop just surviving, and learn to thrive? So I look forward to sharing how do we start to become aware of our thoughts. But I'm going to remind you to slow down, to connect with your breath, to be intentional. And the work is going to be that much easier to connect with. I look forward to talking with you soon. Make it an amazing day.